Welcome to Mysteries Naija. I'm your host, Esther. There's a fallacy called the halo effect. It's when a person possesses a certain trait or characteristic that we naturally assume that they possess other related traits or characteristics. For instance, it's when we assume that because someone appears respectable, religious, educated, calm, or even familiar, they must also be safe. We see one good-looking quality and our mind fills in the rest. Good manners must mean good intentions. A trusted space must mean trusted people. A familiar face must mean no danger. But real life doesn't work that cleanly. Think about how many times people say, after something terrible has happened, he seemed normal. She knew him. That is the terrifying part. Sometimes danger doesn't arrive looking like danger. Sometimes it arrives with a familiar name, a calm voice, or someone you thought you really knew. Let's get into today's case, but before we do, first listen to this audio.
The issue with some of you is that you keep praying for destiny helpers, someone to come and help you. You believe that there's someone somewhere that's been destined to help you, to bring you out of your predicament. And that is the problem. That is the main problem. All through your childhood, it's actually an indoctrination from childhood. Your parents actually believed in that and they passed it on to you. So this has somehow shaped your mindset, and your mindset affects your reality.
That was the voice of a man known to be Timileyin Ajayi. And he was, I believe, he's in prison, so he was a gospel singer who released a couple of tracks that are considered to be gospel songs about God and the worshiping of the Lord. And I listened to some of his songs. I specifically listened to I'm in Love, because when I was researching this case, everyone kept mentioning God of the Earth. I went to his page on YouTube Music. He has over, I believe, 206 subscribers. At first, wanted to listen to God of the Earth. There was another track there that was titled I'm in Love, and I'm thinking, so many of the platforms, so many of the news sources mentioned his music career, insinuating other songs that were related to God or the gospel, and then pivoted to singing about God. So when I saw I'm in Love, I'm like, oh, I naturally wanted to now listen to I'm in Love. I clicked on it and I'm like, okay. The intro is like, it eases you in. And then his voice kicked in. It wasn't the best, but it was so cellular sounding, but the lyric was about God. He's a terrible person and doesn't deserve to even mention the name of God, let alone sing to people about God and the love of God and being in love with God, because he doesn't even have what it takes to be in love with a fellow human. Sorry, I'm getting riled up. You're gonna get riled up when you hear this. We don't know when or how or for how long, but he claimed that he also dabbled in cryptocurrency, and eventually he announced on his platforms that he's not just a gospel singer anymore, he was also a cinematographer, a content creator, a photographer, songwriter, and the rest just piled up. That's what he was now claiming to be. All because he would set up his phone on a tripod, I believe, and just dance in front of the video, in front of the camera, sometimes sit in front of the camera wearing this baggy pants that's got pockets all over it, pocket by the leg, pocket by the thighs, pocket by the hips, and he wear a shirt with chains and watches, and he just sit there and spew his guts out, record, post, and that naturally makes him a cinematographer, a content creator, a social media manager, and a videographer, period. That's how people get qualified these days. You do it once, you get certified. So he posts stuff like that, which the audio from the beginning of this episode was from one of such posts. He makes different videos out there and claims to be all of these things. Now, this episode is not dedicated to him because remember, we put the victims first in our storytelling. So, who was Salome Adaidu? Like I said before, when it comes to these cases, I can't really give you backstories, origin stories, childhood history, because first off, when the family members of the victims come out to tell us about their family members has been hurt by a despicable devil somewhere, they most times focus on the crimes and the days leading to the crimes, or the weeks, the months leading to the crimes, the events leading to the crime. They really don't fill us in on their childhood and the fun memories and the fun stories of their quirky personalities. They most times keep it out of the picture and just focus on the crime because they don't want to give the press or outsiders or just anybody out there a reason to slander their family members, because it's very easy for people to twist other people's words. So they most times focus on what matters, the case, the crime. And if these information aren't put out there, it's kind of hard to know. We all didn't grow up with the victims, well, we don't know. And I would really like to give you all these backstories, but I can't give you what I don't have, and I don't want to make things up. So I'm just going to start from when she graduates school, because that's all we know. She graduates from the Department of Library and Information Science from Kogi State University in 2023. She was a very beautiful, soft-looking, kind, innocent, and harmless smile that will naturally make you smile with her, even though you don't even know what she's smiling about. If she laughs, you're likely going to laugh with her before you even know what's funny. I apologize, guys, if you hear any noise in the background. Most times I usually do this in the middle of the night, but I have been abusing my sleep pattern lately, so I was trying to fix that by recording earlier so I could be done with the day's work by appropriate bedtime. Just something I'm trying to work on. But the downside to that is my neighbors are still awake and I'm surrounded by kids, honestly. My neighbors to the left, they've got kids. My neighbors to the right, they've just got a newborn. If you hear screams and shouts of kids, I can't help it. I don't have any kids, but I hear kids literally even in my sleep. But I apologize. I'll try to use as much noise cancellation as I can. I hope you don't hear it, but if you do, please bear with me. Thank you. So back to the case. Where was I? Yeah, she's got this calming smile that just warms and melts your heart. She was born in 1999, December 10th, and this date is a bit contradictory to the popular reports that she was 24 at the time of the murder in 2025. But her sister, according to an interview with the sister, said that she was born in 1999, December of 1999. She was from Kogi State in Nigeria. At the time, she just graduated from school, like I mentioned before, and she was serving. And this is like mandatory. Sometimes you get posted to schools, or other times to the hospital, depending on your major. Other times you could work with private companies, depending. But you have to, it's sort of like an internship, but you're providing this service to the country to show your patriotism towards the country for a year. And you get paid a bit of an allowance to help you survive through that period, because again, it's more like an internship, so you're not being paid for your work, but the government will pay you an allowance to cover your upkeep while you provide this year of mandatory NYSC. She was doing that. She was serving at Nikon Insurance in Abuja. She came from a family of 7, and she was the 5th child of 5 daughters in her family. So this is a family of 5 girls. Can you imagine that? Actually, for the youngest, it's like good and bad at the same time. You have so many elder sisters stuff to steal, but also so many elder sisters who already know all your tricks in the book because they've already done all that, so you can't lie, you can't sneak about. I can't even imagine it. As an only child, I can't even imagine having siblings, let alone having 4 sisters. Guess it must have also been fun, amazing, because they all understand how you feel at every certain time because they all felt it too. So she was the 5th daughter and the 5th child in the family. She put her head down. She was serving, she was working, she was smart, beautiful. It's safe to assume that she must have met, what's his name again? online because he used to reach out to so many women online. Even though there's no report, or I just couldn't find it. So if you have a report of it, verified report, maybe you could share with us. They talked online for a while, and then eventually he invited her over to his place, and she showed up. She showed up at his house. At the end of the day, that was on a Sunday, Timmy leaves the house with a bag, and this bag is like a shopping bag. It's not a fancy shopping bag. It's black in color. It would have two of them. One is thinner, one is like polythene bag, a bit flimsy. If you put something relatively heavy in it, the handles will just let go and everything's gonna just fall out of the bag. If you have something breakable, gone. Meanwhile, the other one was made of fiber, sort of, so it is sturdier and a bit more expensive than the other. So it was one of those bags. It was the sturdier one kind that he had with him, and he took a bike and they were riding through town towards wherever he told the guy he was headed. The bike rider noticed that the bag he had with him was dripping blood. He could understand why this passenger of his had a bag that was dripping blood, so eventually he called the police on them. I don't understand the logistics of that, but based off of what I could research, he called the police on them. To me personally, if I'm trying to make sense of the situation, because if you're on the bike with this guy and you take out your phone and you start calling the police, my passenger has a bag that's got blood dripping and he's right on top of your bike, he could force you to just let him off the bike and vanish. So perhaps maybe they got to a checkpoint or something and he saw the police and was like, he's suspicious. I don't know. Or maybe Timmy wasn't paying attention at all and he called the police and reported. But ultimately, the rider alerted the police and Timmy was caught. And he had this bag with him. They searched the bag and they saw a severed head of a woman with long braids. And they asked him who was that, why he had that, where he was going with it. And in a classic jungle justice style, some hands started to meet his body, some hands started to kiss his flesh. So people started beating him up and asking him, what is this? Because it's very clear. This guy here has murdered someone, but who is this person and why? He is arrested. The identity of the woman was then confirmed to be Salome Adaidu. When he was asked in his confession and even his interviews that have been public now and circulated, he claimed that he killed her out of jealousy, out of anger. And once more, I cannot help it. I listen to the questions journalists or people that we should call journalists ask criminals. I ask myself, what is this? What is this? Even if I were to take a little kid out of grade school, told the kid what happened, this person did something really bad, they hurt someone, and we want to know why. Can you ask him questions? That little kid would ask better questions. The sort of questions they were asking, I just couldn't. And this guy, he was so disorientated, couldn't even make sense of his own thoughts, couldn't even put his words together. Nothing made sense at all. He lost half his vocabulary. He sounded like he's been to hell and back, but I bet he hasn't even been to hell before. But I believe he knows exactly what hell looks like, because he's the devil himself. They asked him questions that wouldn't even bring out the real intentions, the real motive. But they also managed to ask him questions like, why did you kill her? Why did you hurt her? Tell us what happened. According to his confession, he said, we've been dating for over a year, which the girl's family debunked it. They said, we're a close-knit family. We are a close-knit family that even when you're friends with someone, we all know you're friends. We know each other's friends. We know each other's acquaintances even. We know people that they even spoke to once. If she was dating someone for a year, we would have all met him. We would have all known him. We would have all at least been in contact with him, or even at least heard his name once. We never heard his name once. Now imagine a group of friends yapping away, always yapping away. Someone texts them online, hey beautiful. It's led to nowhere. Maybe he liked 2 of her posts and she went through his page and he looks like her type. Best believe it, the next time they meet for coffee, she's telling her friends, I've got this love interest. I can see it working. He said, hey beautiful. And I went through his page. He's hot. But yeah, I'm going to be sweet because I want to make this work. I'm not going to show him that I'm a little bit psycho. She's going to tell someone. She's definitely going to tell her friends. Now imagine that's just friends that could judge you. You're telling me that she had 4 sisters and not even one of them heard of her dating a Timmy guy for over a year. He claimed, we dated for over a year and oh my God, she would cheat on me. She cheated on me. How dare she? I sing about God's love. His words were to the tune of, he found out from her phone that she was cheating on him. When he confronted her, she apologized. She admitted to the affair. No, they're not married. So what's the word for it? Cheating relationship? What's the word? I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. But she admitted that she was seeing someone else besides him. And she apologized and promised it was never going to happen again. So he said he was hurt and all that. And she decided to go use the bathroom. So when she went to use the bathroom, she must have done something in the bathroom that rubbed him the wrong way. So he got upset and he walked in there with a knife and he slit her throat. That was one. But then when he was asked on the day he was caught with the girl, he had said that when he confronted her about the cheating, that she had apologized and everything. But then one thing led to the other. We don't know what led to the other, but one thing led to the other and she attacked him with a weapon. So he had to fight back. Oh yes, the classic self-defense. And so he fought back. He pointed to his head. You see the scar right here? She's the reason I had the scar. It sounds exactly like Udwakakwan. Remember the previous serial rape case we talked about a few episodes ago? Exactly like that. She attacked me first with a weapon that came out of thin air. God dropped it from the sky to her. So I had to defend me. The scar on my forehead? Yes, her. You see this one too? Her. Anything you see on me right here, right now? Anything that looks like bruising, mark, scar, injury, it's all her. She did it to me. So I had to defend myself by slitting her throat. That was what he said the day he was caught. But then 2 days later, when he was interviewed, he said, she went to the bathroom. She did something in there that rubbed me the wrong way. I went in there and slit her throat. There was no mention of self-defense or her attacking him with any injury. But again, he was so disorientated. He was slurring his words and the rest. So I don't know if he's missing details because his mind wasn't even there or because it was a lie that he made up before and forgot that he did include that tidbit. I don't know. So after he murdered her, he cut her up into about 50 pieces and distributed them into different polythene bags. He put her in shopping bags, you know, the similar ones you get at the grocery store, thin see-through ones. And then he put the head in the sturdier bag I mentioned previously. He said he was planning to discard the head so he could get rid of the rest of the body. The first time her family member ever heard of Timmy or her being in any sort of relationship with Timmy was when she died. And they were told that she was murdered by her boyfriend, Timmy. According to speculations, they weren't dating. He lured her for the sole purpose of hurting her. I tend to believe that when he was asked if he was killing her for ritual purposes, he said no, he wasn't. That just things got out of hand. He tried to get rid of evidence and proof of what he did. So he was asked if he regretted what he did. And he said no, he has no regrets, that he stands by what he did. She cheated. Sort of implying what's the point of regret. He said life is reciprocal. In his words, life is reciprocal. What does that even mean? According to him, according to what I could understand, he was trying to say, life has consequences. You do the deed, you pay the price. Sort of. In his mind, his behavior or actions were necessary or even appropriate because she cheated on him according to him, which there's zero proof of that. There's zero proof of them even ever being in a relationship. That's what I could understand he was trying to say, but his words were just so incoherent that he wasn't even communicating that at all. Yeah, I believe that's what he was trying to say, send across to us.
She came to my house and we're actually vibing. We're not actually vibing well. But based on one or two things.
What is the one or two things?
We started getting close to each other. And I saw that my vibe and her vibe came together. So that was how we came to be together.
What did you see in the phone that made you very angry?
Most of the chat with the other guys. That's what I saw on the phone.
So that was when you decided to kill her?
Yes.
Do you have any regrets?
I don't have any regret.
Okay, you don't regret killing her.
I don't. And so I brought it to her awareness that she was cheating. She refused. She refused. She didn't want to accept until I showed her the chat and showed her what she did, what she admitted, and told me she was sorry. It's never gonna happen again. That was what happened.
So afterwards, you now asked her to go into the bathroom. What happened?
After that, I told her to go into the bathroom. She went to the bathroom and started some things. Immediately she started those things. I couldn't take it lightly. I had to go into the room of where I can get some certain things that will happen. So I took the knife from the restroom and went into her. Immediately she was lying her hand down. I did what I had to do, and that was it.
He was arraigned by the authorities. He was taken to court. Once he got to court, he pleaded not guilty. You've been caught red-handed with the most substantial evidence. He claimed not guilty. The prosecutors presented their case with everything being presented. Once the case was made, he claimed, actually, Your Honor, I remember her coming to the house. Yes, I do. She came. But I remember nothing else. From the time after I caught her with the cheating and she apologized, after that, I remember nothing else up until when I arrived at the police station. That's where my memory begins again. From after she apologized to me about the cheating, everything else, no clue, no memory. I remember nothing. So no memory, I didn't do it. If I don't remember it, I didn't do it. Not guilty, Your Honor. The audacity to sell the story after telling us he had no regrets. He'd be asked, did you kill this young lady? He would say boldly, yes, I killed her. Do you have any regrets? No, I don't. The court at first thought, with his boldness and honesty, maybe there must be something clinically insanely wrong with him. So he was made to go see the doctor. And they told the court, he's sane enough. He knows exactly what he did. He understands exactly what he did. There's nothing wrong with him. While in court, this devil remembered, I did sing about the Lord. Remember, I'm in love with God. What is the best time to be the most in love with God? There's no better time than when you're in court for a murdered child. So he sits there in court and he starts to pray silently, but his hands are there, his head is nodding, his eyes are closed, and he's in the spirit of the evil realm, and he's praying so theatrically just so we can see that he loves the Lord. Well, the court didn't fall for that. Nobody bought it. I was upset when I saw it even. Even God would get rid of his prayers. The court found him guilty of the charges against him. The court found him guilty of culpable homicide and killing and dismembering of a victim. So he was sentenced to the capital death by hanging. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about capital death. There are some people that I believe deserve to be alive, locked up forever, to rot away slowly go mad, especially people like him, because after just 2 days, he was so disorientated, he was incoherent and deteriorating in just a few days. When he was done being interviewed and the sister of the victim was being interviewed, he was sitting still on the same chair that he was sitting in when he was interviewed. Where he was sitting at first was in the shade, but since the sun had rotated, he was now sitting directly in the sun, and he needed his comfort so badly that he had to get up, picked up his chair, moved to the side into the shade just to be out of the sun. That's the kind of person that can't even stand the heat of the sun. When he was about to be taken away back into custody, he got up from his chair and his pant was unzipped, unbuttoned. It was grainy footage, but you can see that he was exposing himself, and he was dragged to the car. He was walked to the car, and when he was trying to get into the car, his underwear just fell off and his whole cheeks were just out there in the open. Just 2-3 days of being held. So I believe there are some people that deserve, life sentence without any possibility of parole. Let him sit there, lose his nuts, lose his senses, just be completely miserable. In my book, that is worse than just killing him, because he's getting off too easy. I know it makes me sound cruel. I know. I promise I used to be a nice person, but he is despicable. And why I say that brings me to my theory. this is my theory. Before I tell you what I think really happened between him and Salome, first, there's this girl that posted to YouTube, and I don't know, I can't verify it. I never knew the guy, never had his contact, but she posted a screenshot of a WhatsApp message, and it had this number there right in the open, which is best than just having a saved contact with whatever name you want, but it had the number out in the open. So if you can confirm that that number was registered to him, then it's confirmed that it's him, but I don't have the means. The post had no traction, that there were no comments or anything to verify if that was indeed his number, but I don't think she has a reason to lie, because there are also similar stories as the one that she tells, which means it must be true. So she says that she was part of a group on Telegram. He was part of the group as well, and then he posted to the group that he is holding a karaoke. People are invited to join him at the karaoke, and just singing and all that. So she said she was also into singing, so she was interested. So she messaged him directly on Telegram and told him that she was interested, and he was like, okay, cool, when can you come see me? They agreed, I think that weekend or something. Once they agreed, they shared contact, and according to her, he started to hound her over and over and over and over again. He just kept on calling her again and again and again. He sent her the address to the place. According to the time I could piece together myself, it seems like he said the karaoke was going to be on a Sunday, and this girl, she said she wanted to go, and she even told her sister about it. The sister was excited and was like, yes, let's go together. She was planning to go, but she was really busy with work that she couldn't make it, and he kept on calling her over and over and over again about coming to the address he had sent her for the karaoke. Then on Sunday, she heard on the news everywhere that he had murdered someone. So she was like thanking God and her stars that maybe that could have been her. I kind of want to believe it, because another lady was anonymously interviewed, and she was asked, this guy that's being charged of this crime, what can you tell us about him? Her story was almost identical to this other YouTube lady. According to this other anonymous girl, she said that she worked at a resort, and this was the resort that Timmy used to frequent a lot. He would go there all the time and would buy drinks and just chill, and he would come there with lots of women. So basically a womanizer, that he'd come today with a girl, he'd come another day, say tomorrow, with a different girl, and he'd come the third day with a different girl, and basically never came with the same girl. So he was a frequent customer, but every single time he came, he always came with a new girl. That is not the behavior of someone who is in a relationship or wants to be in a healthy monogamous relationship. So every time he would come, according to this lady, so I'm just gonna say allegations, don't know how true this is, so don't quote me on it. I don't know, I'm just reporting. So according to this lady, one time he told her that he was having this karaoke party event or something, get together or whatever, invited her over. But prior to inviting her to this karaoke event, he had previously invited her to his house. Come to my house, come to my house. And she was like, what am I gonna come do at your house? You're a customer here. We're not friends. We don't talk. What am I coming to do at your house? So she declined and said no. And then he came to her again on this week, telling her about the karaoke, inviting her to the karaoke. And prior to this karaoke as well, she had heard before that he was looking for a backup singer, that he was a gospel singer and looking for a backup singer, someone to come help, feature on a song. She said that everyone at the resort, they all knew him because he was pretty regular, but he invited her to the event and she sort of wanted to go. He started to call her over and over and over and over and pester her about coming to the event, but ultimately she didn't go. She has spoken to another of her colleagues, told her that she had visited him at his place before. So this colleague had visited Timmy at his house before, and she was like, why? She said, because he invited me over and he kept pestering me. He kept calling and pestering me to visit. So eventually I did. And the girl was like, what happened? This was before he even killed anybody. The girl asked her, what happened when you visited? She said, nothing happened. At first, I went there with my friend and my brother. So we don't know if the friend was a female friend or a male friend, but she didn't go alone. They were three. They went there. They hanged out with him for a while, and then they were like, we're gonna leave. Thanks for having us. He turned to the girl and told her you should visit again, but this time come alone. That is so suspicious. He tells her you should visit again, and that time come alone. So the girl's brother turned to him and said, no, she's not. She's never gonna come visit you alone. If she's visiting you again, We're all coming with her. Anywhere my sister goes, I go. You're never seeing my sister alone. And I believe that's why she was alive. That's why nothing happened to her, because there were too many people. And this guy is lanky, thin. So he can't take on 3 guys. Even if they're teenagers, he can't take them on. That girl was safe. Thank God. A day before he's caught with the dismembered remains of a person, he visited the resort, as always, because he's a regular. And this anonymous girl alleged that he was pensive. He was pensive the whole time. He was in his own realm, in his own world, in his own head. He was looking sad in thought and just focused, not even in the same world as the rest of the people there. He didn't really care. He didn't smile. He didn't talk to anyone. It's almost as if he was planning something. My theory, which means absolutely nothing. My theory is my opinion, my conclusions, which are not to sway anybody. Please do your own research and form your own opinions. My theory is that the same nature he would hound the other young girls to come visit him for karaoke and all that. He must have spoken to her online, perhaps played the innocent guy, the good-looking guy, and from his audio, he could sound tall and handsome. If perhaps you've just woken from sleep, or you've got a headache, or you're just so hungry that you're not thinking straight. If you were like going through any of those situations and you heard his voice, he might sound tall and handsome. He's not. Maybe he turned on the charm, hounded her, texted her over and over and over, called her again and again, pestering her into saying, fine, I'll come see you. Plus, he used his music career as a gospel singer as a shield. Look at me. I sing about God. I praise God. I can't be bad. You're totally 100% unequivocally safe with me. Who else can you be safe with? So he must have done that. She seemed like a compassionate person, a nice person, a warm person. So maybe she must have believed him. You can't expect people who boldly tell the world they are spiritual, religious, to be so evil to this level. Maybe they could try to assault you. Maybe they could try to manipulate you. But to just straight up murder you, we don't really think that. We always as humans try to see the best in others. So my theory, she went and he killed her. For no reason. For his own reason, which for some reason he doesn't want to tell us. So we don't know. This case is sad. It's really sad. Because this was a young life that was just starting to blossom. A young life that was just starting to bloom. She just finished studying. This is just exactly like a newborn. Exactly like a newborn. She just finished school. Still serving. Could have finished her service in a few months, and all she worked hard for just taken away from her. The life she could have lived just ended. We don't know what good, what benefits she would have provided the world. Benefits he can't even start to imagine, let alone accomplish. I'm sorry I've been getting riled up so much. It's almost like every single case I research just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Cases like this don't leave answers behind. They leave questions, and they leave hurt and pain unimaginable, especially when the people involved in said case don't want to tell us why they did it, or give us reasons that don't make sense at all, reasons that we know clearly are lies. Cases like this leave questions about trust, about perception, about how well we really know the people around us. Because if danger can look like familiarity or even look like faith, then what does safety actually look like? What does safety actually look like? Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I would like to hear from you what you think about this case. Do you believe situations like this are preventable, or are they just a reflection of something deeper in society? What can be done? This is not a case that's unique to Nigeria alone. This is something that happens everywhere in the world. It's a plague that everywhere in the world is suffering from. Drop your thoughts in the comment below. I would really like to hear what you think about this case. If you found this episode insightful, please don't forget to share, like, and follow the podcast. If there was anything that was miscommunicated, anything that was misinterpreted, do bring it to my notice. Live and let live. I'll see you in the next episode, but until then, please take care of yourself. Leave people alone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.